Hello everyone, welcome to the Mythreya Herbal Research Institute's next regulatory insight video. Here we will introduce you to an important US FDA requirement for dietary supplements, the new dietary ingredient notification. In this video, we will start with key definitions, understand the importance of NDI notification, explore possible scenarios where a notification might be required, and an introduction to an online NDI notification decision tool that we have developed. We will then review the NDI notification process, the essential data it requires, common challenges companies face, and discuss if a GRAS conclusion can sometimes be an alternative. Finally, we will wrap up with the key takeaways. Let's begin with the basics. A dietary supplement is a product intended to supplement the diet and contains one or more dietary ingredients. These ingredients could be vitamins, minerals, herbs or other botanicals, amino acids or other dietary substances used to supplement the diet by increasing total dietary intake, or a concentrate, metabolite, constituent, extract or combination of any of the above dietary ingredients. What is a new dietary ingredient? A new dietary ingredient or an NDI refers to a dietary ingredient that was not marketed in the US in a dietary supplement before October 15, 1994. It is important to note that this applies specifically to dietary supplements, not to conventional foods. What is an NDI notification? Under the US law, if you want to market a dietary supplement containing an NDI, you need to notify the FDA before doing so. This pre-market safety notification process is called an NDI notification. Let's look at the importance of an NDI notification. Without a proper NDI notification, a dietary supplement containing an NDI is considered adulterated unless it is already present in the food supply in a chemically unaltered form. The notification must demonstrate that the ingredient is reasonably expected to be safe when used as labeled. Failure to do so could result in regulatory actions like seizures or injunctions. Now we will see the possible NDI notification requirement scenarios. If your ingredient was marketed before October 15, 1994, it is not an NDI. Therefore, NDI notification is not required and the NDA adulteration standard does not apply. If it's a new ingredient but present in the food supply in an unaltered form, it is exempt from NDA notification, though still subject to adulteration standards. However, if the new ingredient is chemically altered and not present in the food supply at all, you must submit an NDA notification. Although we just saw 4 key scenarios, the reality is the need for notification is not always that simple. That's why we have created an online NDA notification decision tool based on the FDA's guidance document. It will help you quickly assess whether your ingredient requires notification. You can find a link to the online NDA notification decision tool in this video description. Now, let's look at the NDA notification process. Once you conclude that your ingredient qualifies as an NDI, gather comprehensive safety data, including toxicology, clinical, and historical use evidence. Then, prepare and submit your notification to the FDA at least 75 days before launching your product in the market. Remember, the FDA doesn't approve these notifications, but they will acknowledge its receipt. What are the key data required in the NDA notification? Basically, your NDA notification should convincingly show that the NDA is safe for its intended use. This means including details about ingredients identity, composition, manufacturing process, proposed dosage, safety evidence, and history of safe use where available. Here we will see the administrative procedures and FDA's handling of NDA notification. Along with the safety data, administrative details like your company's name, address, and authorized signatory are also required. Once that NDA notification is submitted, the FDA acknowledges its receipt and a 75-day review period begins, during which submission remains confidential for 90 days. Okay, let's see who needs to submit an NDA notification and by when. Any manufacturer or distributor intending to market an NDI or a dietary supplement containing an NDI must submit this NDI notification to the FDA at least 75 days before marketing the product. Some of the common challenges in NDI notifications include incomplete NDI notifications, insufficient information on the identity of the ingredient, inadequate or unclear descriptions of the part of the plant used, extraction solvent, analytical method, or manufacturing process, variability in ingredient specifications without any justification, inadequate safety data, or not establishing the safety. Another frequent issue is relying too heavily on traditional use without modern safety validation. Is GRAS an alternative to NDA notification? In certain cases, an independent GRAS conclusion or an FDA notified GRAS can help demonstrate that an NDA is present in the food supply. Under these conditions, the NDA may be exempt from the NDA notification requirements provided the NDA is not chemically altered and used at comparable intake levels. However, GRAS status itself is not a substitute or alternative regulatory pathway to an NDA notification. For better clarity, here is a comparison between GRAS conclusion and NDA notification. GRAS conclusions are typically applicable for ingredients intended to be used in conventional foods, while NDA notifications apply to NDIs intended to be used in dietary supplements. GRAS conclusion is achieved through independent GRAS determination with an option to notify the FDA, while NDA notification is to be mandatorily submitted to the FDA. Also, the FDA's response, confidentiality policies, and legal basis differ between these pathways. To wrap up, determine if your ingredient qualifies as an NDI, plan safety studies yearly, and follow the FDA's notification process carefully. Where appropriate, consider GRAS as a supporting tool, not a replacement for NDA notification. The information presented in this video has been developed based on the official guidance documents and regulatory provisions issued by the US Food and Drug Administration. Key references are shown here. For additional details and to access these documents, please refer to the official FDA website. Links to these resources are also provided in this video description. Write to us for any support with your NDA notifications. Thank you for joining us today.